Hello dear students of third prep science. Let's go to start our episode today as we have to talk about the acceleration, the last part of acceleration, and we have some exercise about the some problems give reason about acceleration. Then we can start with next lesson as lesson 3 as we talk about the difference or the chemical quantities in our life. So let's go to start our episode today with the part of problem or give reason for as we see here on the monitor. زي ما احنا شايفين قدامنا بيقول لي give reason for the object which moves at uniform speed its acceleration equals 0. زي ما احنا شايفين قدامنا بيقول لي the object which moves بيتحرك يعني with what? with uniform speed. Uniform speed. Its acceleration equal what? Equal 0. We know what is meant by acceleration. احنا عارفين يعني ايه acceleration. Acceleration is the change of speed as time passes. بمرور الوقت. So, acceleration equals 0, so we have no change in the speed. So we can answer because their speed doesn't change. السرعة ما اتغيرتش, and we have two graphs represent uniform speed as we see here. زي ما احنا شايفين قدامنا. One of them is distance time graph. Distance time graph is represented by straight line passes through from the origin point. So here we talk about what? We talk about the constant speed. سرعة uniform يعني منتظمة. مش constant body at rest. لا. We talk about what? Constant speed or uniform speed. And at the same time here we have what? We have speed time graph. So in this case we talk about what? We talk about acceleration. And this graph is represented by what? Represented by a straight line parallel to the time axis as you see. So here we have no change in the speed as V1 as initial speed equal final speed. So we have no change in the speed, so acceleration equals 0. So acceleration equals 0 as we see here on the monitor. Okay. نبدأ مع بعض. بيقول لي complete the following statements. At regular motion, the distance is what proportional with what? So we have distance and what proportional. We have V equal D over T. We have equal here and we have distance in this side and speed in this side. So the relation between distance and speed is what? Proportional. Is directly proportional. يبقى هكتب هنا is directly proportional with speed. Next question is the speed time graph. So we should focus on this point as speed time graph. So we talk about acceleration. We talk about acceleration or change in speed for motion at uniform speed. So we have no change in the speed. The speed is constant. Is represented by a what line parallel to the time axis as we have here in this graph on the right side على ايد اليمين. V1 equal V2 as a straight line parallel to time axis. يبقى we write here نكتبها هنا مع بعض is straight line straight line parallel to the time axis. Next one. Measuring unit of speed is what, while the measuring unit of acceleration is what? We have two measuring units of speed as meter per second and kilometer per hour. So we can write here meter per second as the measuring unit of speed, and the measuring unit of acceleration is meter per second power 2. because again acceleration is the change in speed as time passes or in 1 second. Number 4, acceleration is the change in the object's watt in 1 watt. So acceleration is the change in the object's speed in 1 second. Number 5, acceleration increases if the speed of the object watt by time. الاكسلريشن بتزيد if the speed of the object watt by time. Again هنبتدي عليها تاني. Acceleration equal what? V over T. So the relation between acceleration and the speed is what? Directly proportional. Okay? So if acceleration increases, تمام, يبقى acceleration increases, the speed of the object what? Increases as time passes or by time. Next one is write the scientific term. The amount of the change in the object speed in 1 second. As we talk about what? As we talk about the amount of change in the object speed in 1 second, as we have here time. So we talk about, yes, we talk about acceleration. Next one, a kind of motion which the object's speed increases by time. السرعة بتزيد بمرور الوقت. So we talk about increase in the speed. So here we have positive acceleration or increasing acceleration. Positive acceleration or increasing acceleration. Okay. What is meant by a body moves at 0 acceleration? A body moves at 0 acceleration. يعني have acceleration? أقول له no. يبقى in this question we have no change in the speed. Or what? ممكن نقولها بطريقة تانية. Or body, we have another answer. Body moves with uniform or constant speed. السرعة ما بتتغيرش. يعني uniform speed as the speed of moon around the earth. سرعة القمر حول الأرض سرعة ثابتة or uniform or constant speed. So here we have no change in the speed. Number 2, a body moves by acceleration or decelerating motion equal negative 2 meter per second power 2 or second squared. So here as we have what is meant by? What is meant by? Deceleration or acceleration negative here. So speed what? Increases or decreases? يبقى speed decreases. How many? We talk here about what? About speed. And decreases. How many? 2 meter per second every 1 second. Okay? يبقى we separate. احنا فصلنا بس. We have 2 measuring units here. Meter per second and second. Because acceleration again بقولها المرة يعني ال 500. Acceleration is the change in speed. And here we have decelerating motion. Which means speed decreases. How many? 2 meter per second every 1 second. Problem, a train moves by a speed 20 meter per second with uniform acceleration sorry, with the uniform deceleration equal negative 2 meter per second power 2 if the brakes are applied. يعني عنده فرامل. Find the time needed. So here we try to calculate time needed to stop. خلي بالنا مش أي كلام من عادي. To stop the train. First one, we have acceleration A or يعني ممكن نبتدي V1 equal 20 meter per second. Okay. And acceleration as a given, negative 2 meter per second. Power 2. Some problems بكررها بعض المسائل يكتب deceleration without sign. يعني ما يكتبش negative or positive. We should write in a given negative because we talk about what? Deceleration or decreasing acceleration. خلي بالنا من البوينت دي كويس قوي. Okay, and we have time. Okay. لا ما عندناش time. أمال what? We have the yes brakes يعني فرامل to stop. So we have V2 equals 0 meter per second. And we try to find time passes. Here we have question mark. So from the magic triangle يعني بنشتغل بالmathematical law. يبقى we have given number 2 magic triangle as we see here. We have speed or V, we have A, we have T. But we have in speed, we have two speeds. Yes? We have what? We have V2 minus V1 over A times T. Okay. So we have to calculate time. صح؟ يبقى time equal V2 minus V1 over A. So T equal V2 how many? 0. Minus what? Minus 20. Over what? Over acceleration equal negative 2 meter per second. So we have negative 20 over negative 2. So equal how many? Equal 10 seconds. لو أنا غلطت بقى ما حطيتش positive in front of the value of acceleration, so we have time in negative and we have no time in negative. ما عندناش وقت بالنيجاتيف، وقت دايما بالبوزيتيف لانه going forward التايم دايما بيطلع لقدام ولا stop ولا going backwards. نبدأ مع بعض ب first part in lesson 3 as we have physical quantities, as we have scalar and vector physical quantities. We have two types of physical quantities, scalar and vector. Very simple lesson. درس بسيط جدا. We should remember we have to identify physical quantities. يعني ايه physical quantities? Anything can be measured. أي حاجة ممكن نقيسها. Mass, length, time, speed, force, energy, temperature, and so on. So, anything can be measured. أي حاجة أقدر أقيسها as mass, temperature, energy يبقى called physical what? Physical quantities. So we have number 1 scalar physical quantities. Scalar physical quantities as what? As physical quantity identified by magnitude only. Magnitude يعني ايه magnitude؟ يعني بعرفها بالmagnitude. Magnitude which means number plus measuring unit. Measuring unit. يعني if we say مثلا لو احنا قلنا 5 seconds 5 number second measuring unit. So we talk about what? We talk about time. So time is a scalar. Give reason. أقول له because this quantity identified by magnitude only. مش محتاجة حاجة تانية. We have many examples as what? Mass, length الطول يعني أو distance, speed, time, energy, and each one of them has measuring units, and we have to identify by measuring unit as for example temperature. لما اجي اقول مثلا 4 kilogram, so we talk about mass. 6 meters, so we talk about length or distance. If we say 7 meters per second, so we talk about speed. If we say 4 hours, so we talk about time. If we have 8 joules, so we talk about energy. If we have 10 Celsius, we talk about temperature. So these these physical quantities identified by what? By magnitude only. We have another physical quantities, as here we have vector physical quantities. Vector physical quantities, these quantities or these physical quantities identify by magnitude and direction. And what? And the direction. يعني I need to know its direction and its magnitude. يعني مثلا for example we have here examples as acceleration اللي احنا لسه just we finished the lesson of acceleration. Acceleration is a vector physical quantity because we need to know the direction of acceleration. عشان كده الاكسلريشن فيها positive negative. Force قوة, the direction of force backward or forward. يا ترى احنا نعمل push or pull. Velocity not speed. ها هناك كان عندنا speed. اهي هنا we talk about velocity. And we have what? We have displacement. Displacement is vector, not scalar. And we will know how can we differentiate between displacement and distance. How can we differentiate between velocity and the speed. خلي بالنا velocity and speed have the same measuring unit. عندهم the same measuring unit. But they are completely different in the problems. Or in concept يعني. Okay. If we say 5 meters per second power 2 northwards, يبقى أنا عرفت الاتجاه. يبقى we have what? We have here magnitude and we have direction. If we say force 5 مثلا meter leftward أو left side, as we have to talk about مثلا هنا displacement. Displacement have أو has the same measuring unit like what? Like distance. But we have to identify with magnitude beside direction. Okay. How can we know the definition of distance? عايزين نعرف يعني ايه distance ويعني ايه displacement. ازاي نفرق ما بينهم؟ Distance, it is the actual length between 2 points. And displacement, it is what? It is the shortest straight line between 2 points, between the primary and the final position. As we see here, زي ما احنا هنشوف دلوقتي هنا قدامنا مع بعض. We have here from point A to point B. We have displacement and we have distance. Distance is the actual length, الحاجة اللي انت مشيتها فعلا between the 2 points. But displacement, it is the shortest straight line between what? Between the 2 points. For example, dear students, لو هنا مثلا I want to move toward the camera. أنا عايز أتحرك toward the camera. So I can't pass through the table or the desk. مش هعرف أتحرك. لازم I will go rightward, then forward, then leftward, then forward again. So this actual length, المسافة الواقعية أو الطول الواقعي between the 2 points, this actual length is called distance. Distance. But if I want to calculate displacement between me and this camera, I want to calculate the shortest straight line from this point toward this point. So here we have to differentiate between distance as the actual length between 2 points and displacement as the shortest straight line between the 2 points. If we know how can we deal with distance and displacement, we can deal with speed and time at the same time. يعني شوفنا كده مع بعض how can we define speed and velocity. خلي بالنا speed and velocity. نبص مع بعض. هنا عندي speed and velocity. As we studied before, احنا خدنا السبيد in lesson 1. Speed is what? Is distance covered as time passes, or through time unit, or in 1 second. So we have what and what? We have distance and time. But velocity is what? شوفوا بقى الفرق الكبير between velocity and speed. Velocity is displacement covered through time unit. يبقى السبيد distance covered through time unit. Distance covered through time unit. And velocity is displacement covered through time unit. So we have common factor here as time. Time here and time here. But here we have distance covered through time unit, or as time passes, and displacement is the velocity is displacement covered through time unit. As here we have V equal V equal طبعا هنا V arrow, which means velocity. V without arrow, which means speed. Which means what? Speed. Velocity. Why we put arrow above the symbol? عشان هنا identify by magnitude only, and here identify by magnitude and direction. So we have D small, which means a distance. And here we have D with arrow, so we have, yes, displacement. Okay? So now we can differentiate between distance and displacement. طب نحل بقى problem مع بعض. بيقول لي a body moves from point A northwards, تحرك شمالا ها, to B, covers 40 meters in 5 seconds. Then moved eastward شرقا, covering 60 meters in 3 seconds to C. Then moves to D, southward جنوبا, covers 40 meters in 2 seconds. Calculate distance, displacement, speed and velocity. مش صعبة. هعمل ايه؟ Just I will draw without ruler, مش محتاجين مسطرة. A to B. عرفت منين اللي فوق؟ بيقول لي northward. How many? 40 meters in 5 seconds. Then moves what? Eastward to point C. How many? 60 meters in 3 seconds. Then moves to D, نزل لتحت, southward جنوبا. How many? To D. How many? 40 meters in 2 seconds. صح؟ يبقى we have a starting point فين? A. And the ending point is what? Is D. So we want to calculate displacement. هبتدي بالdisplacement. Is the shortest straight line between the starting point and the ending point. يعني اهو من هنا لهنا. مش دي displacement؟ يبقى طب الديسبيسمنت هحسبها ازاي؟ How can we calculate? Because we have two sides are parallel اهم and equal, 40 meters and 40 meters. So the other two sides are parallel and equal. So displacement equal how many? Yes, equal 60 meters like the other side. يعني ممكن نشوف كده مع بعض. يبقى how can we calculate distance? Distance is the actual length. Actual length كله هحسبه. Okay? يبقى distance equal 40 plus 60 plus 40 plus 60. So distance equal how many? Equal 100 plus 100 equal 200 meters. ما ننساش measuring unit. So at the same time we need to calculate displacement. Displacement is the shortest straight line between the starting point and the ending point. So here we have what? 60 meters. Okay? And here we have to calculate speed and velocity. Speed equal v equal d over t. D equal how many? The total distance equal 200 over total time. 5, 3, 2 يبقى 5 3 equal 8. 2 يعني plus 2 equal 10 يبقى 200 over 10 equal 20 meter per second. طيب هنا بقى آخر حاجة الفيلوسيتي. الفيلوسيتي equal what? equal displacement over time. أهي displacement over time. Time doesn't change. الوقت مش هيتغير، محدش يحط وقت بمزاجه. يبقى هنا هقول له distance equal displacement equal how many? 60 meter over the same time. How many? 10. So equal 6 meter per second. شفنا الديفرنس ما بين السبيد والvelocity and distance with displacement. Okay, dear students, by the end of this example, we have to finish our episode today, and we have to complete next time, inshallah, with general review about Unit 1, speed, acceleration, and the physical quantity. Until we meet again, thank you, see you, and goodbye.